Hi, thank you for joining. This webinar will be the SIIA Innovation Incubator Program presentations for the Educator's Choice Award. We will begin just momentarily, but again, I do want to thank you for responding to our partner EdWeb's invitation to participate today. Just quickly about SIIA, we are a trade association for the software and digital content industry. We provide services in government relations, business development, corporate education, and intellectual property protection to well over 700 software and information companies. The Education Division, which is the division here at SIIA that manages the Innovation Incubator Program, we serve over 200 companies. Those are developers of digital content, software applications, online learning, and related technologies in elementary, secondary, and post-secondary education. Again, you are here because you responded to an invitation from our partners, EdWeb. So thank you for joining, and a special thank you to Lisa Smucky at EdWeb for all of her help coordinating these efforts. We will begin in just one more minute. This webinar is being recorded. And again, thank you for your patience. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We will begin with SiteLighter. They will give the presentation, and at the end of the presentation, we do ask that you submit your questions via the chat box. The presenters will verbally answer your questions during their allotted time. However, you're more than welcome to keep on asking questions via the chat box, and the presenter will answer them in the chat box after their time is up. You should have received a link to the survey to vote for the presentations. If you did not receive that, please let me know via the chat box. I do ask that you wait until the presentation is, they get through their complete, get through their complete presentations before submitting their, your survey for that innovation. Again, please submit questions via the chat box. We want this webinar to be as interactive as possible. And feel free to continue asking questions via the chat box, and then the presenter will will respond to your questions in the chat box after their time is up. If you did not get the link to the survey, please let me know via the chat box, and Lindsay Harmon with SIIA will provide that to you. So without further ado, we will get started.
Hello.
Hi, Saeed, let me know when you're ready, and we will get started.
Okay, ready to go. So how you guys doing? My name is Saad Al. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SiteLighter. We teach students how to think and write while giving teachers insights and directions for improving critical thinking skills. So this all started about a year ago. My little brother calls me up and he's like, hey man, I'm going to drop out of college. And I'm like, hey man, the hell you are? And I said, for two reasons. The first is because I paid for it. And the second is because education is going to be the single largest differentiator between your success and not. And honestly, I don't think you're old enough to be making that bet. So I showed up at his dorm 2 hours later, and it was like, you're going to hate this, but I'm going to work with you from 8 in the morning until midnight every single day for the next 3 weeks and push you through to the end of college. And he had 4 papers to get done over the course of those 3 weeks. And I sat behind his back and watched as he entered in search terms to Google, got incredibly overwhelmed, copy and pasted facts, put them into a Word document, copied what he's doing, wrote down his corresponding thoughts on a white sheet of paper, and did this several times over the course of 5 or 6 hours, looked at his screen and went, holy crap, I have 20 open tabs, a Word document full of copy and pasted stuff, and a white sheet of paper I just can't even read anymore. And it was at that time I realized that my brother knew how to think, but he just needed that little structure to help him find his way. So my co-founder and I dug around and figured out that students spend about 775 million hours in these time-consuming, non-value-added processes while researching and writing that get in the way of critical thinking. So we said, you know what, let's go ahead and get rid of it. So we created a very simple technology. It's a downloadable browser extension. You highlight information. When you highlight information, we save your facts into a framework where you can organize complex ideas into a logical outline. We also give you the ability to enter on your own thoughts and comments while they're still fresh in your mind, which really means you're taking a moment to reflect how that particular piece of information relates to the bigger picture. And we obviously, for students, because they love it, we automatically create the corresponding bibliographic citation. After students are done doing researching and organizing their content, they can press the Write button, and we inject a SiteLighter clipboard into a Google Doc. This allows students to reference their organized thoughts as they begin to write and create a cohesive composition and clarify the relationships among complex ideas and concepts. When they want to include a fact with an in-text citation in quotations or their comments or a bibliographic citation, they simply drag and drop it automatically into their Google Doc. So that's how we've cleared the way for students to think. We launched about a year and a half ago, being used by students at approximately 1,500 schools, and we also have one of the largest content deals in the education industry with Send-Based Learning to provide some premium users with millions of credible academic content. So let me go ahead and describe our teacher platform. This is really exciting. So we realized that I was able to help my brother because I sat over his back and watched every single thing that he did. We also thought that if we could provide teachers who obviously don't have the time with the same ability, they would be so much more effective. Let's take a second to think about how a teacher grades a paper. They get a finished product. They probably shake their head. Then they have to guess where their students went wrong. In addition, they have to figure out how to motivate their students. Then they spend 15 to 20 minutes of valuable class time per student who are obviously very uninterested, trying to diagnose where they may have gone wrong. So we created a teacher platform that records what actions a student has taken as they go through a critical thinking process like researching and writing. We summarize every action a student took in a color-coded task analysis that teachers can understand in seconds. It's like creating a window into a student's mind. This data allows us to tell teachers thousands of things. For example, now teachers know if a student is conducting the writing before doing the research, and if it's like them trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. We can also use this information to see if students' different thinking styles match up with another, or if we should create different teams so we can match one student's weaknesses up against another's strengths. We can even use this data to start sending alerts to students who are not performing to motivate them so they'll begin their assignments earlier. More importantly, teachers can use this data to sit down and help students understand where they need to improve so they're no longer left feeling like they don't know what the next steps are. We had about 100 schools apply to test our analytics platform in a single month, and we accepted about 20 of them. And the results actually come back tomorrow afternoon, so we're incredibly psyched around here. But the exciting thing is we're already seeing teachers saving time. They're coming out less stressed. They feel so much more effective. And most importantly, students are performing much, much better. And so what we're doing is really creating a platform that drives student outcomes. So with that, I'm actually going to quickly close on that note. I'll tell you we got a great team that's me and my co-founder. We got ourselves 7 guys inside, and we got a stellar lineup of advisors that includes some of the founders of MySpace, one of the CEOs of eMachines, as well as one of the former CEO of Blackboard as well, too. And with that, I'm done. I will take questions.
Saad, there's actually a few questions in the chat box. Please review them and answer them.
Let me take a look at these. I see one of them. It says, are there warnings or guards or guides to avoid plagiarism? Yes. In the product that we have in pilot right now, one of the things that we consistently heard was, yeah, it's great that you're a tool. How do you go past that. So what we have are lessons for students at certain touch points where they can actually review how to write a thesis, how to avoid plagiarism. The other thing we're doing, which is really exciting that I didn't touch on, is we're creating templates for narratives, explanatory text, and we're aligning them to Common Core standards so students can drop information in, and on the back-end platform, teachers are able to see what skills their students need to improve or where they're going wrong. Where does the name come from? So it was kind of like a highlighter for the internet, but we also produce the citations as well too. The way our technology is created is we're able to capture about 80% of the bibliographic information, but we still force the student to check the page and grab additional information off because it makes them assess the page for credibility. Yes, and someone wrote, I understand the reference, but it reminds me of fire, as in lighter. I completely agree. All right, well, everyone, thank you very much. I appreciate all the questions. And, oh, there's a quick one. The problem, questions about places and if I'm using these tools or not, please. Okay, so real quick for Deborah Martin-Gull, the way middle school students are using this is we have the ability for students to comment and they're learning how to paraphrase in there. Thank you, Sean.
Sad, your time is up. Feel free to continue answering questions via the chat box. Participants, educators, administrators, please feel free to continue asking questions regarding this innovation in the chat box, and he will respond to you in the chat box. All right. Thank you again. Next, we have Derek. Derek, please let me know when you are ready to begin.
I think I'm ready. I don't seem to have the controls. Do I need the controls to switch slides?
Yes, it does say that you do have control to the, you were successfully co-presented, so you should see the next and previous buttons down at the bottom of your screen. Please maximize your screen. That may be the case.
Okay, I do see it. Okay, thank you. Got it.
Okay, so begin whenever you're ready.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is Derek Luby. I'm the creator of SimCEO, but more importantly, I'm a current high school principal and a former social studies teacher. So as an educator, I'm wrestling with this disconnect between the skills we want for our students and the type of learning that they tend to experience in school, and I want to share a tool that helps bridge this disconnect. Here's what I want to see: a generation of entrepreneurs. I don't just mean kids who have learned business and financial literacy skills. I mean kids with an entrepreneurial mindset, students who are able to see a problem and take action on it. These kids learn by doing, but they learn for doing as well. And so if we want to prepare our students to think like this, then I think we need to give them a very different kind of learning experience. We need to move beyond software that helps students get the right answer, because really that's the wrong goal. We need to create some open, flexible learning environments, just like the real world, where the right answer is just a means to an end. And with our product, SimCEO, we use the power of a classroom market as a learning model to engage kids. Now, this classroom market happens in 3 steps, so here's how it works. First, each student creates a company by answering assignments, and the teachers can select which assignments to include, or they can just make up their own and include them in the simulation. In step 2, they research each other's companies, and then in step 3, the students buy and sell shares in those companies, and this immediately changes the share price. There are no correct answers in this simulation, but the students are pursuing 2 goals at once: to be the best investor and to be the best CEO. Now, the simple model changes the way learning happens in a couple of very powerful ways. By combining business and investing together, both of them are simulated more realistically. As an investment simulation, students aren't just picking Nike and Starbucks and hoping that the share price goes up. They begin to truly value companies relative to a share price. And on the entrepreneurial side, they're creating their own company and they're making decisions in a live market. And pedagogically as well, this is the real life environment we want kids in. Students are creating their own solutions, their actions influence each other, they're in a complex situation with a very clear goal but no clear pathway, and to me that's real life. And it's fun for kids. The work itself has a very authentic audience, the investors. So students are creating and they're evaluating each other simultaneously. So it's both competitive and collaborative. Now, when we created this, we really wanted to empower teachers, not just business teachers, to target content and skills for their kids. So, for instance, we have high school history teachers who play SimCEO for 2 weeks within a unit on colonial India. Or, as you can see here, we have an elementary teacher who uses it with a 5-week unit for the American Revolution. So teachers customize the assignments that students see, and they also share news stories. And those can be real or fictional, just to keep kids on their toes, making adjustments along the way. So here's where we are right now. Because teachers can customize it, SimCEO can target business skills right at a student's level of understanding. That's why we have users from ages 8 to 22. And it also provides a cross-disciplinary way that business skills can get integrated into traditional subjects, helping kids get excited in those subjects as well. And we think that's a big reason why we're getting into classrooms. And when teachers share feedback with us and tell us that students they don't even teach are asking to join the simulation, we know we're onto something. But we are very much in our first steps with SimCEO. This is an entirely self-funded project, and we want to refine it and scale it as a learning tool that can get into many more classrooms, because we think every student should get to experience this type of learning. So we're targeting teachers with very affordable pricing to help us grow rapidly. So we hope you join us on our journey to create and share a tool that really changes the way we're preparing our students for the future. That's what we want, and we've got a fun way to get kids there. So if you're intrigued by the idea, please share SimCEO with others and check out the site and just play a part in helping more students get a chance to experience this kind of learning. Thank you very much. Okay,
thank you so much, Derek. You actually have a couple questions in the chat box. Feel free to answer them.
Sure. First question I see is, how is it aligned to the Common Core? At the moment, we don't. This is a startup. We just aren't there. We are aligned to financial literacy standards, economic standards, and business standards, but we have not yet aligned to the Common Core, and that's down the road for us, for sure. Can you use this with a few computers? I'm looking at a question. Yes, you can obviously have students play in teams as well, and most teachers and students are saying a lot of this is actually done outside of the classroom as well. Is it enhanced for mobile? No, not at the moment. We do not have an app. Again, that's in the next stages. It can be played on an iPhone. It's entirely web-based, and it'll work fine. It just doesn't have its own app. I'm trying to read some questions coming in. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. The company's name is Jetlag Learning. The name of the product is called SimCEO.
Yes, please rate this product in the survey. Please select Jetlag Learning.
I'm not seeing, oh, I do see a question here. A couple scenarios, are these preloaded or do teachers create them? The teachers create everything. This is, we've had teachers play it in San Francisco, set in the year 2013. In terms of preloaded, we do have assignments that are preloaded, but teachers can create and add their own, and that's how they customize it to target the skills that they want to see for the ages that they teach. Okay, thank you very much for your questions, and I will stay on the chat room answering.
Okay, thank you so much. His time is up, but please feel free to continue asking questions via the chat box for any of the innovations that have already presented. And then innovators that have already presented, so two of them, please go ahead and add your contact details, website, etc. to the chat box so everyone has that for reference in case they were wondering.
Sure.
All right, next we have Greg up. Please, Greg, let me know when you're ready to begin, and we will begin timing.
I'm ready to go right now.
All right, please begin.
Hi everyone, my name is Greg Wright. I'm the CEO of NICU, and I'm glad to be with you today sharing our vision for supporting teachers through better classroom assessment. Our support, by the way, is even embodied in our name. NICU is the Lao word for teacher. At NICU, we believe that better assessment leads to better learning. NICU provides a comprehensive cloud-based assessment solution that allows teachers to assess student knowledge at any time, in any subject and grade, using any web-enabled device, such as tablets, netbooks, smartphones, and laptops. Having spent a career in EdTech, and more importantly, with a wife that's a teacher and a father that's a retired teacher, I understand the challenges on teachers' time with large class sizes, and I recognize that students come to the classroom with a wide variety of backgrounds and skill sets. Fundamentally, NICU provides teachers immediate insight into student performance by standard to pinpoint knowledge gaps that the class or individual students may have for informed instruction. It goes beyond this, though. With NICU, teachers can collaborate on common assessments, and they also have the ability to engage students in the assessment process, one of the many unique features of NICU. I'll touch on this a bit more, but first I'd like you to hear from one of our customers. This is Waverly Shell Rock Middle School.
Your video is in the next slide.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Quickle, principal at Waverly Shell Rock Middle School in Waverly, Iowa. We didn't go in thinking we're going to be a one-to-one iPad school, nothing like that. We were really looking at how we could give the teachers that were coming into the building the type of technology that would help them do the job. But now when you're talking about teachers that are trying to do formative assessments and they want to get real-time data, the teacher can take their iPad, walk around the classroom, observe what the students are doing. He can give the assessment.
And with NICU, it's in a matter of clicking a button, I have the results for every kid. The toughest thing is making sure kids are learning what they're supposed to be learning. And that means collecting data. Within a matter of a couple seconds, the results pull right up. And I'm able to really figure out pretty darn quick which kids were successful, which kids were not. It's short, sweet, and to the point. They just log in, and they've commented that every time I said, well, we're going to have a quiz, the first question, is it going to be on NICU? So they definitely like using it. And it's really served the classroom pretty well. I
don't know what drew me to the NICU name, the symbol, or whatever. I just thought, these guys get it. These guys get what learning is about. I love the fact that NICU means teacher. And when you look at what you're trying to do for educators, your head and your heart and your expertise is in the right place, and that's why I'm NICU. That's why I'm NICU.
Okay, I saw some of the notes, and I noticed that some of you had difficulty hearing the audio, but hopefully you saw that NICU provides teachers immediate data on student performance by standard. Again, this insight can be in any subject or grade, and performance can be measured against Common Core, state, or local learning standards. In addition, teachers can check for understanding any time, whether they have a quiz prepared or not, with Quick Question, which is our student response system that I've featured and illustrated here. Teachers can also collaborate in developing tests by using item banks the school or district creates or purchase publisher banks that the school owns. They can also share results from common assessments for discussion in teacher teams. NICU uniquely supports what we call better assessments, engaging the student and turning assessment from a simple fill-in-the-bubble experience to a learning experience. NICU enables this through student expression of confidence and justification while the student is answering each question, and immediately following test completion, students can view correct answers with answer rationale and provide reflection and journaling as shown here. In summary, NICU is a comprehensive classroom assessment solution that teachers use to inform their instruction at any time. We recognize that teachers have a great demand for their time. As part of that, it is easy to get started with NICU as we sync to the student information system, and teachers can use existing tests that they already have, whether in Word or PDF format or in quote-unquote test file format such as ExamView, and receive all the benefits of immediate, standards-aligned reports for informed instruction. Schools and districts can even create their own item and assessment banks to use. Lastly, just to share a bit of the research behind this, as many of you may know, being able to quickly identify student knowledge individually or as a class to inform instruction has been shown through research to greatly accelerate student learning. The notion of formative assessment as the driver for student learning was promoted by Black and Willen in their landmark study Inside the Black Box, and more recently by Dr. Hattie, where he ranked 138 different factors from over 50,000 research studies and determined that formative and self-assessment are two of the top 3 factors that accelerate learning. NICU gives teachers the tools to do both. Thank you, and I see some of the questions. What is your training model within a district, within a school? We do both. We sell both to schools and to districts. Training is both on-site and webinar-based, based on the desire of the school. Training comes included with the base assessment of a license for a year. They can also purchase additional training if they wish. I see a question. I assume that real-time data requires selected response questions. There are also often there's free response questions. Yes, all of the data, you can have open-ended text-based questions that you answer and that you ask that are automatically scored, constructed response. You can certainly do multiple choice, matching, as well, a variety of different question types. Any web-enabled device will work. So if you have an iOS platform, an Android platform, Kindle Fire, Netbook, Chromebook, laptop, you name it, it'll all work. All the data is collected. Question there about collecting the data for performance assessments, absolutely. Just trying to scroll through the number of different questions. Hopefully I answered all of them. I'll go back through these during the next presentation. If I missed any, I will send out a note to that. And yes, there are additional customer videos for those of you that couldn't hear available on our website. And I can also share some of the various reports on there as well. Obviously in this time limit, had not an ability to share a lot of the reports, but can do that as well. So again, thank you all for your time listening to NICU, and I will go back through these questions, and if I missed any, send out a note on that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And again, please continue to submit your questions via the chat box, and our innovators will continue to answer your questions via the chat box. Thank you again, Craig. We'll go ahead and go on to the next presentation, Scribble. Victor, please let us know when you're ready and begin whenever you are.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
Great, so I'll get started then. Hi everyone, really excited to talk to you today. My name is Victor. I'm co-founder and CEO of Scribble. And I'm really excited to tell you how my team and I are really trying to change the way that people are working with online information. Let's take a look at how that looks today for a lot of folks. If you're somebody that spends a lot of time researching and reading information on the web, there's a good chance you've done one of these things that you see on the slide right now, which is that you often find something valuable and copy it into a Word document, print it out, etc., in order to be able to personalize that information, to be able to comment on it and distill it down to the pieces that really matter. And unfortunately, these sort of desktop-era workflows that we've all gotten used to are really an old-school, broken workflow that we at Scribble believe really should be replaced. And so what we've built is a new sort of system that makes it much easier to do online reading and research. And I'm going to take you through a couple of screenshots to show exactly how the system works. So what we've built is a system that has a couple different components. For those folks that have used Pinterest or other popular applications that use a bookmarklet, you'll be familiar with what you see here in the top left corner, which is the Scribble Toolbar bookmarklet. It's a very small piece of JavaScript that can be put in the bookmarks part of your browser. And then whenever you're reading on the web, you can actually click on that, and it'll load our toolbar on top of whatever web page you happen to be on. And you can see that toolbar at the top right above where it says comparative literature on this Wikipedia page. Using the annotation tools, which you see there as the highlighter, the note, and the other tools, you can richly annotate the web page like you've never really been able to do before. We've developed some really proprietary, amazing technology that lets you do on-page, in-context annotation, which is a very different approach than what other people have done, where they're, for example, copying or clipping web content into their application. We're actually letting you annotate directly in the browser on the web pages and the articles you're finding on the web as you go along. And then we've added the ability to have a citation capture. So we've got sort of a semi-automated citation capture, which will allow you to basically capture that information and then store it with the pages in your library. And this is what it looks like in your library, which is the place on the web in your account where the information is stored. What you can see here is that it's a really powerful organizational tool where you can use filters and tags and full text search capabilities to be able to quickly find a needle in a haystack. About a month and a half ago, we launched our Student Edition, and that adds the capabilities you see circled here, where you can actually create a report, a bibliography, a summary, and other such great things. So what I'm going to do here on the next slide is show you what that looks like, just to give you a taste of what some of those things are. What you'll see on this is that when you've actually saved a variety of articles to your online library, you can then go into your library, select them, and click one of those buttons. And in an instant, with one click, you can generate a summary of all the notes and annotations that you had on that page, or with one click you can generate a bibliography to really make it easy for you to be able to find that information, for you to be able to sort of pull that all together. We also have great things like shareable reports and libraries for collaboration. One of the things that we're really excited about is that what we're finding is that since Scribble is really changing the way that people are doing online reading and research, we really feel like we've got a great opportunity to help educators meet Common Core standards. So here on this slide, what I'm showing is that there are some excerpts from the Common Core guidelines that talk about how students really need to be able to operate at a college-ready level when they're coming out of high school, and that as part of their work in school, they need to be able to do all kinds of research, both short and long form, that's appropriate for the workplace. And what we've been doing, that we've been very lucky to do, is actually partner with some sort of pilots and early adopters in both high school and higher ed, and they've been able to help us kind of work through a lot of the issues that are going on to basically make this really a powerful tool, both in the sort of middle school, high school market, as well as in the higher ed market. So what I have here is an example of an English teacher and a history teacher, Jessica and Shilpa, who we just started a pilot with last week here in the San Francisco Bay Area. They co-teach a freshman persuasive speech class. And in that, the students actually go out and do research using Scribble for their speech topics. And then at the end of the course, they actually deliver that speech. I won't read them here, but I'll leave it up. You can kind of see some of the great things that they say about Scribble and how it's helped them in this course. And the long and the short of it is basically that Scribble is really an amazing, powerful tool that allows instructors like this to be able to quickly, in real time, actually view the annotations that are being made by the students while they're doing the research and the work, and then actually leverage that into other forms of deliverables later, such as the reports and the summaries. And then what I wanted to do is also show some examples from higher ed. We've got two examples here. At the top, we've got Whitney Clay, who's a reading instructor at a community college. And at the bottom, we've got Professor Joe Sanders, who's an assistant professor of English at Kansas State University. And they're both using Scribble in different ways, one to teach critical reading skills and the other to basically teach and have collaborative reading assignments within their class. And so these are really amazing opportunities for folks to be able to use something like Scribble in a variety of different areas, but we found that really in the humanities and social sciences is sort of the sweet spot. And what I'll do is just quickly close with this and leave this up. And if you have any questions about why we think you ought to hopefully vote for us for the Educator's Choice Award, hopefully this will answer some of those questions, but I'm also happy to take some questions as a part of this Q&A now. Thanks so much. Okay, so I am looking at the questions here. So someone here is asking the question, organizing info seems clear, but what about moving information forward once organized, for instance, to Twitter, to EdWeb, to LinkedIn, to our own websites, et cetera? It's a great question. I know that what didn't get a chance to get into in a lot of detail was we've actually done some social integrations. So we actually have people now that within the toolbar are actually using some of our social integrations to be able to post what they've found on the web and researched on the web and highlighted directly to Twitter and Facebook. So if that's something of value to you, that you want to be able to sort of use those channels to be able to post and share your annotated research and articles, you can do that. Let's see. I'm not seeing other questions just yet. Okay, Susan's also asking, would you be able to add additional social networks? There are many. Yeah, actually in the future what we're planning to do is make it much easier for people to be able to leverage and integrate with Scribble. So we're going to be doing that through a set of APIs. We've already started doing that in a limited fashion, and we're planning to sort of do it in a much broader fashion so that whether it's an LMS or other third-party apps that want to be integrated into Scribble, that would be possible. Let's see here. Then there's another question, what is the pricing structure? I assume this is for us. So we're using the classic freemium business model. So right now we have a basic edition that's out there for free for anybody to use. We launched our student edition about a month and a half ago, which is also free and that adds all those great capabilities that I described. And going forward, what we're piloting right now is sort of an instructor/classroom edition, which will be a paid edition that will have great things like assignments and other things that we're working on. And that's going to be sort of a very affordable, essentially low subscription cost on a monthly or annual basis. And we're going through the process of figuring out exactly what that pricing ought to look like.
All right. Victor, thank you so much. Your time is actually up, but
Sure.
Please feel free to continue answering questions via the chat box. And participants,
Sure.
Please continue to ask questions via the chat box. Again, all innovators, please, if you have presented already, please post your contact information, your website information, etc., in the chat box for all to see and have access to. All right. Thank you so much. And next, we have Archer with mAuthor. Please let me know when you're ready and begin when you are.
I'm ready. I can start.
Okay, thank you.
So, hello, my name is Artur Dyro. I'm CEO and co-founder of Learnetic company. This company comes from Poland, and actually I'm also in Poland at the moment. It's 10:40 p.m. for me, so I'll be a bit slower than all the other presenters so far. I'm sitting in my house in the very beautiful Baltic Sea in northern Poland. So, what is the problem that we try to solve? You can remember that 3-4 years ago, the publishing of the digital content was relatively easy. We had basically one platform, maybe two, Windows and Mac, and it was just one device, a computer that you were supposed to publish content to. Today, we have a big variety of different devices, different screen sizes, different operating systems, with very different requirements and interface, including touchscreen. So this is really a challenge for any publishers to prepare a digital content that works on all devices. So that is why we come up with the e-publishing platform called mAuthor, which is dedicated to publishers, to professional developers, to create multi-platform content. And at the same time, we created a sister technology which is dedicated to educators. We call it mAuthor for Educators. So what it is, this is easy-to-use content authoring platform, fully online, plus content repository. So teachers are able to create their own content using a big variety of interactions, gap filling, matching, ordering, many, many more, including scripting, and they are able to collect them into the different repositories. So what are the core features? First of all, the product, mAuthor for Educators, enables creation of highly interactive content which works virtually on all types of devices, which is nicely scaled on all types of screen sizes. No programming or graphic skill required, enabling teachers to customize third-party content, especially done with the mAuthor by the professional publishers. So content can be stored in private or public repositories, can be exported as SCORM packages and used in the third-party LMSs. The mAuthor for Educator can work also as an extension of the existing LMSs as a content authoring tool. So why we did create it? First of all, to enable teachers to create content, to allow them to customize professionally published content, and let the schools and districts to create their own content repository with the full support of the authoring tool, with the full capabilities of maintaining the content and just making it up to date. So who is going to use it? Basically teachers who want to create their own content, schools that want to extend their existing e-learning platforms with content creation capabilities, plus districts who want to simply create their own content repositories for their schools, students, and teachers. So what is the business model? It's very simple. The tool is free for individual teachers, and if the school or district or state wants to create their own private repositories available only for their members, they have to purchase a license. So how it works? It's very easy. You just log in, and immediately you have an access to the authoring tool. You can create your own content. You can simply store it in your private repository, export it as a SCORM packages to your learning platform, or use it directly from the mAuthor for Educator platform. Or you can simply search content through the different repositories which are private, purchased by your institution, or published on the system. So this is pretty old, a very simple concept. The most important part of this innovation is the fact that you create one piece of highly interactive content, and then this piece of content can work perfectly on the PC, tablet PC, smartphone, with any screen size, and it behaves and acts the same way exactly. What is very important, content can really produce a lot of data, including scores, number of attempts, number of mistakes, and many other things which can be reported to the learning platform. That is all what I wanted to show you today. So this is called mAuthor for Educators, and it comes from Poland, from company Lenetic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Artur. I believe you have one question in the chat box from Juanita. Participants, please submit your questions in the chat box now for this innovation.
What do I mean by content? I mean that this is a learning object with interactivity, which allows you to perform different activities like choice, gap filling, matching, selecting images, ordering images, playing the video, swapping the pictures. So this is all you can imagine what you would expect from things called interactive content. It appears exactly the same on all devices. It's nothing like a dynamic layout. It looks exactly the same through the very intelligent scaling technology. So user experience is exactly the same on PC or smartphone. Is a teacher dashboard. I mean, I'm not sure what it does mean, but content can be obviously displayed on the interactive whiteboard. How it's exportable is exportable to a SCORM package and also an offline package. Pricing information, as I said, for individual teachers is free. Pricing for the US market is not yet established. We have a fixed pricing for the professional version called mAuthor, simply, for the publishers. We have few customers already in the US. It's not this. I mean, there is still a question: is the content different on different devices? No, it isn't. It is exactly the same content. So one piece of content looks and acts exactly the same on all devices. Does it track students with while in the simulation? Yes, it does. It tracks attempts, number of mistakes, many actions which are taken, not just the result, percentage results, or so that there is quite a wide variety of different actions stored and reported back to teacher. So are there any more questions? If not, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Artur. Please continue to submit your questions in the chat box, and Artur, please continue to answer them if they are submitted in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay. We are actually going to take just a brief 2-minute break just to give everyone a chance to either run to the restroom, grab a drink. So we will begin again promptly in 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stay on schedule and get started again. Next, we have Jim with Brain Parade. Jim, please begin when you're ready.
I am ready. Hi, my name is Jim McClafferty. I am the founder of Brain Parade and the creator of a product called See, Touch, Learn. I'm going to tell you a little about that today, but imagine teaching a special needs child to recognize everyday items by name, such as those that you see here. Or helping a child with autism recognize the faces and names of his classmates. Or seeing how much your nonverbal child really knows. And See, Touch, Learn is a tool that can help you do that. See, Touch, Learn is a 21st century visual instruction and assessment tool. It provides over 4,000 high-resolution images and hundreds of professionally designed lessons, but it allows the teacher or the parent to use your own images and create your own custom lessons and assessments to work with your child. We've introduced a community where users can share the content that they create with a user base of over 350,000 users in 104 countries. See, Touch, Learn is a portable, customizable, and very easy to use and cost-effective product. Here are just a few of the examples of the types of instruction you can do using See, Touch, Learn, the iPad application. It's only limited by your imagination. As we roll it out, we find more and more different uses that teachers are using it for, successfully working with their students, and we created a very flexible product to enable that. This is an example of one of the exercises that you can create. This one would be for identifying objects. There's a text prompt across the top. There's an audio prompt, so whatever you type in there will be spoken with a synthesized voice, or you can record your own voice. Another example here, you can see some of the high-quality images that are included with the application. Here's an example of identifying objects by their characteristics, and you can have a field of anywhere from 1 to 6 images with anywhere from 1 to 6 correct answers as well. Once again, another example, putting names and faces together. An example of matching items. You can do counting, you can do math, you can do more or less. But what's really impressive about the product is how easy it is to create these lessons. So I'm going to show you a video, and I don't see the video button, Derby. Is it next slide? Here we go.
One of the things that makes See, Touch, Learn so special is that it's so easy to use and create lessons. Now, earlier on you saw a lesson with identifying Mrs. Francis, the teacher. So let's show how we create that. So I'm going to click on the Lessons button. This is a list of all the lessons that are included on my iPad right now, some that I've created and some that were included. And let's go to the Educator's Choice. This is my custom lesson that I'm working on. I'll click on Edit, and you can see there's 3 exercises, that are already there, and I'm going to create the 4th exercise. So the first thing I'm going to do is add cards. So I go to the classroom library. You can see the different libraries on the side here. I'm going to take the pictures that I want, and I'm going to drag them on there. So here's the 4 pictures that I had, and where's the other fellow? He's over here. Okay, so now I've added those 4 pictures. Come back to the exercise. And here I'm going to type in, touch the picture of Mrs. Francis. And now I just picked the correct answer. You see that little green button there? That's Miss Francis. So now I'm done. Well, we'll see how this lesson goes. Let's just skip ahead to that lesson that I just created. Touch the picture of Mrs. Francis. Incorrect answer waves you off. There's also an audible response that we have turned off. And that's the picture of Miss Francis. So you can see it's quite easy to create lessons. Custom lessons for pretty much any situation.
So I'm not sure if you got all that with the audio there, but it's very easy to create custom lessons, and we do have a repository of lessons that come with it to get you started. One of the newest things we introduced is the community. This is a picture, a screenshot of the community where the users can upload their content and share it with others. It's organized by topic, and you can also see top lessons, top libraries, top contributors, etc., and you can search by keyword for the lesson or for the images as well. The product there's essentially 2 versions of the product, the free and the pro. Think of them as the a la carte and the all-inclusive. The free version is free, and you can purchase individual libraries for 99 cents to $1.99. The pro edition is $35, and it's all-inclusive. All 4,400 of those images and those lessons are included. The Brain Parade community is where you share lessons and content. That's included with the Pro Edition, and it's a weekly, monthly, or annual subscription with the free edition. The latest introduction is a C-Touch Learn Lite site, which is going to be for schools with 10 or more users, and includes a private community as well as some customization and some additional services. So I'll be happy to answer questions, and you can just look at some of the accolades that we've received over the course of the last 2 years since we introduced the product. So, first question, do you vet the photos moving into the shared library to ensure appropriate content? We do not monitor or curate the content, but we do have a mechanism so that if something is inappropriate, it can be raised and addressed to us. I know that some of the schools may have a concern about that, which is why we've come out with the site version, which is going to allow you to have a private community that's only accessible to your school. Our images screen, same question. Thank you, Susan. Found it quite effective. Any other questions?
Please continue to submit your questions via the chat box.
Okay, well, if there's no more questions, thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to present. I will post my contact information right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. We'll get moving and go right along to Parent Square, and we'll have Maria presenting. Maria, please begin when you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Maria Fisk. Parents have high hopes and dreams for their children and want their children to succeed. But do they really know what to do to help their children be successful in school? How much do the parents at your school reinforce what is being taught or help with homework? How many of them volunteer their time, treasure, and talent? Research shows that children whose families are more involved have better grades, attendance, behavior, and graduation rates, no matter their family income or ethnicity. In fact, an involved parent's contributions are estimated to be about $1,000 in additional per pupil spending. Does your school have the tool it needs to reach all parents and encourage them to become super moms and super dads? Parent Square has the tools you need. It makes parent involvement easy. Parent Square eases homeschool communication for the principal, teachers, parent leaders, and parents. Everyone uses the same system, so it's consistent across the school and from year to year. It's a private intranet for your school. Users only have access to the schools their children attend, and within the school, parents have access to the class and groups they belong to. Homeschool communication is generally about learning or logistics, and Parent Square helps with both. It all goes on Parent Square: homework, ways to extend studies at home, plus logistics like permission slips and school lunch menus. Homeschool communication as community building is important too. Parent Square is not an open forum for parents, but it addresses barriers to parent involvement. Automated email alerts and 24/7 online access mean parents know how they can help, and more feel like they are a part of the school community. About 30 schools are using Parent Square already, and they've helped us make the system what it is. A principal at one of our schools with traditionally low parent involvement sent out a message on Parent Square asking about it. 30% of her school community, parents and teachers, responded right away, and their comments show we are doing something really meaningful. And we particularly love this one. I've posted pictures from our field trips, commented on posts by teachers, volunteered to assist with projects. It's very easy, said one parent. We're super excited about the results we are seeing. We've watched Parent Square be a gateway to technology for teachers who are hesitant to use it. More parents are being reached and more volunteering. At one school using our fund drive, the percentage of parents donating to the school increased by 10%. And one statistic alone shows how much parents want to be involved in their kids' education. Parent Square sends out 110,000 emails a month, and 90% of them are opened. So this is what I see when I log in: the messages that pertain to my child's class, groups I belong to, and the whole school. As a parent, I can volunteer or send in an item on a wish list and I'll get a reminder. Across the top of the screen, I can click to see calendars, directories of people, photo and video sharing, and there are places to post links and documents. Messages can be sent in any language or in more than one language. Email alerts automatically go to users when a message pertains to them, so there's nothing for users to check if they're already checking email. Our focus is on elementary schools, where parents naturally tend to start involved and where educators have a real opportunity to guide them in supporting their children's education. With sports leagues and preschools where parents are already involved, Parent Square streamlines communication and organization. And the middle schools and high schools are coming to us, thanks to parents who have used it in their elementary schools. Schools and organizations implement Parent Square as makes sense for them. It can accommodate any school structure, and we can get you set up and upload your email list in less than an hour. There are products out there designed for either student-teacher communication or school record keeping that give parents a login, and the parent's role is really to be a spectator. Parent Square is different. It's designed for whole school adoption and to get parents involved and keep them involved. It has all the tools for communication and organization in one place. We have an annual subscription fee of $399. The charge brings the school community together to make a commitment to using Parent Square, and the fee is offset by reduced photocopying costs. We will also offer additional extras, optionals, Parent Square apps, many of which will help your school raise money. For example, an online fundraiser, an alumni database, a safe blogging site for kids, and business listings for parents at school. So if you're looking for a business, you first look within your school. Parent Square really is parent involvement made easy, and we would love to talk to you about it. I am available to answer questions, and we will stay on the chat to answer any more after that. We've been asked who has access or posting permissions. So the default is that the principal and any other administrators that he or she names have access to post anywhere in any grade level or class or group. Teachers by default have access to post in their classroom and in their grade level, and parents have access to post in their child's class and any groups that they are a member of. And that's true for anyone. Anyone can post in a group that they're a member of. We've also been asked, how does Parent Square interface with the school's current website, Twitter, Pinterest sites? Parent Square is not a replacement for a public-facing website. A public-facing website still makes sense. Parent Square is an intranet. So what most schools do is put a link on their public-facing site to Parent Square so that their current parents can just link right in there. We've also been asked, how does Parent Square link to existing student information systems that have built-in parent portals? It does not. Again, most of our schools have on their public-facing website a link to both of those, to their student information system as well as to Parent Square. They really serve different purposes. Are there any other questions? I don't see any. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Maria. Please continue to post your questions for Parent Square, and Maria will continue to answer them via the chat box. All of the presenters that have gone already, please post your contact information in the chat box. And many of you should have received an email from me, LaDerby Porteril. If you have any follow-up questions or need help getting in contact with any of the innovators, please feel free to reach out to me as well. All right, with that, we'll go on to the next presenter, Ted with Schmoop. Ted, please begin when you're ready.
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, great. All right, so Let's start with Schmoop. That's Bella, our office mascot that you're seeing right there, who thinks she needs to schmoop, and we think a lot of educators in this space also need to. If you haven't heard of Schmoop yet, we are an online publisher who has been in the business of EdTech for around 5 years now. We started just with a simple philosophy, and that is that a lot of the stuff that we saw online 5 years ago and today was just boring, in the sense that it wasn't engaging students, it wasn't speaking how they spoke, it's very authoritative and uncharming, in the sense that we want to have a tone that relates to students and brings them in, makes them want to learn, has that rigor, has that educational quality, but also has a tone that's warm and engaging. So that's been our philosophy since the beginning. We want to make learning fun, and we've taken that philosophy to heart in every endeavor that we go after. So what is Schmoop? It's, as I mentioned, it's an online publisher where, with a point of view, and we've started with learning guides from literature to biology, math, and it's really analysis for a student who, either in or outside of the classroom wants to go and use a Schmoop product and learn a little bit more about it. It's also used by teachers who want to explain something a little bit clearer, either in or outside the classroom. They can say, go read this area of Schmoop. So in the past 5 years, we've accrued over 7 million unique students and teachers to the site who come to use the different learning guides, the literature guides, the poetry guides, the mythology guides, all of the subjects that we have built out, students and teachers come to use. In the past 2 years, though, we've built out a new suite of products and services that we like to call college readiness. I'm going to get to that in a second, though. Just as by way of background, the team at Schmoop, all the content is written by PhD and master's students from around the country, as well as teachers, experienced teachers who are passionate about education. The content is produced by them and distributed throughout the site, and it's founded by two Silicon Valley veterans, David and Ellen Siminoff, who have been working in the Valley and in tech for a long time. On the way towards building out all of these guides, we have been noted with a few awards, and we've been recognized as definitely having that engaging content and having that tone. As I mentioned a second ago, we have built out a great suite of college readiness stuff. So that's really our wheelhouse for high school students looking to pursue a secondary education. We've built out a guide to all of the AP exams, the SAT, the ACT, high school exit exams, SAT-2s, and really what our goal is to be a one-stop umbrella shop for all of college readiness, so that a school doesn't need to look at 3 different partners in order to find a place to get all of this. And when a school licenses Schmoop, a student has access under a unique username to the SAT prep, the ACT prep, all of the APs if they're in 3 classes, that sort of thing. Here's an example, I just wanted to throw this in here, of a little bit of the Schmoop tone. This is how we're addressing AP Human Geography. Look, it's like telling you ice cream is cold and also creamy, you get it. We like to talk to students in this way, and it's proven very effective, as I point to here. Case studies, we've worked with over 1,000 schools and districts at this point, and here's a couple examples. Tustin High Schools in Southern California, they saw their pass rate in AP jump from 40 to 80%, and Prosser Academy saw their enrollment in AP courses after they got Schmoop in that area to increase by more than 50%. So, as we're looking to expand, we're looking to keep that tone in the college readiness areas, but we're looking to address different needs that we see in the education space. So one of the ways that we're doing that is we're starting to build out video. Video content is, sort of the way of the web and content future, and we wanted to hop on that train as early as possible. So we have over 500 videos now, and we're building those out as useful tools, not unlike Khan Academy, who's the biggest player in the field, but as we would like to think, with that Schmoop tone, with that engaging voice. And last but not least, we've also started to build out a math check, which is automatically addressing new new problems, and it's an algorithmic way of using our tone, but also creating a bank of questions based on an algorithm from our engineering team. So that's another cool feature. As a last note, I just want to say we are starting to build out SHMOOCs. You may have heard of the MOOC revolution, and this is going to be, this is a very far down the runway coming soon, but we'll build out SHMOOCs to be a part of the college readiness as well. There'll be credit recovery and helping students achieve those goals that they need as a support system to get to those college readiness areas. So that's really the overview of SHMOOC, and I thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you so much, Ted. Please, you have a couple questions in the chat box. Please feel free to answer them.
Okay. Let's see. What format is the text content published in? It's all web-based, so it's on either an HTML5 or I believe mainly HTML5. So it's all on the web and available through that. So yeah, thanks for always being a SHMOOC advocate. We are building more towards middle school. We do have actually the ISEE, so that's prep for people looking to get into private middle school, and we are building out more young adult resources and titles there in terms of pre-algebra math, which is a nice resource, and you know, subjects moving down toward middle school. Okay, and I guess that is Jeff Piantek. Do you have language? That to me, yes, we do have all of the AP Spanish, AP French, AP German, AP Chinese. Every AP language we have a prep for, and we also we're starting to build out in video content, as I mentioned. We're starting to build out English and Spanish videos, so explaining math in Spanish and explaining other areas in Spanish. We also have a guide to the ACT and SAT in Spanish. So if a student, you know, and it teaches you to take the test in English, obviously, as the test is given in English, but it's a guide in Spanish. Can SHMOOC be imported into an LMS? We work very well alongside LMSs, and yeah, we can definitely, you know, some of the information can be imported as well. We do have, as a side note, our own analytics and administrative reporting system, which goes along with the test prep. That's how obviously those case studies can happen. We have every student has a unique login, and they have a profile, you know, diagnostic results, results for an administrator or a teacher to look at, classroom results, that sort of thing. So that's obviously part of it as well.
All right, thank you so much, Ted. Just a quick zup regarding the Parent Square survey. It has now been fixed, so please submit your scores for Parent Square. Again, please submit your Parent Square scores. The survey has been fixed. Please continue to post your questions for Ted, and he'll answer them via the chat box. Also, we have just 2 more innovators left to present. Thank you so much for hanging in there, everyone. I know you've all had a long day. So with that, we will go to the next innovation. Globaloria, please feel free to begin whenever you are ready.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Great. My name is Kara Burrett, and I am Programs and Communications Manager at the Worldwide Workshop, creators of Globaloria. Globaloria is the nation's first and largest social learning platform where students develop STEM knowledge, digital and computing literacy, and global citizenship skills through game design. We provide training for teachers and school leaders and offer engaging game design courses that are aligned with the principles of the Common Core, the recently released Next Generation Science Standards, and are proven to advance student achievement. With Globaloria, students develop the skills they need for college and career success in today's highly digital and global world, and they have fun doing it. Globaloria was designed to respond to the National STEM Education Challenge by adding computer science and coding to STEM learning. Statistics show that for every 10,000 students who start 9th grade, only 400 will graduate with a degree in STEM. That's only 4%. and this is in the face of millions of unfilled STEM jobs. GlobalOria responds to this challenge in 4 key ways. First, by meeting students where they want to be. That is, learning through playing and making games. More than 90% of all youth play games, and research has shown that games, and in particular game design, are compelling to both boys and girls being a group traditionally left out of the STEM pipeline, and they successfully engage in advanced learning among both high and low achievers. Second, GlobalOria offers a step-by-step, easy-to-use game design curriculum that is aligned with state, Common Core, ISTE-NETS, CSTA, and next-generation science standards. It is specifically designed to help teachers address core content mastery as students go through the process of creating educational games on any topic, from math and science to English, history, foreign language, and more. This is also while they're teaching complex computer science, engineering, and STEM skills as students learn to actually code and program their educational games using the most pervasive industry standard tools and replicating the industry standard practices that will prepare them for college and career success today and in the future. Third, we have an extensive in-person and virtual professional development and mentoring system which ensures that any educator, tech novice, or tech savvy is empowered with the skills and given the support they need to transform any classroom into a STEM-rich digital learning lab. Leveraging the power of technology, GlobalOria offers educators real-time embedded assessment tools and robust digital class management tools that make it easy to track progress and personalize learning for each and every student. All of this results in engaged and motivated learners who are able to invent, design, program, and publish their own interactive educational digital content, becoming digital producers, not just digital consumers. And students do so as part of a vibrant social learning community, honing Web 2.0 and digital participation skills as they share, collaborate, and co-learn with 3,000 GlobalOria students nationwide. This is project-based learning at its most dynamic. Fourth, the flexibility of GlobalOria makes it easy to implement as part of any school or after-school program at the middle school or high school level, with educators and administrators integrating GlobalOria into their core, elective, and CTE classes, or as a standalone course. All you need is 40 hours to get your students on the road to STEM mastery. In summary, GlobalOria provides a Common Core aligned STEM curriculum, improves student achievement and engagement, empowered and supported educators, engaged administration, STEM mastery in 21st century skill development, and cutting-edge innovation, which offers districts and schools a high return on their investment that is results proven to advance student learning and teach excellence for the 21st century. We hope to collaborate with many of you to bring innovation to your schools. Please visit us online at www.globaloria.org to learn more about our program and to play student-made games. And don't hesitate to contact us directly at the email on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Great job. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat box now, and Kara will answer them. Kara, you have a few questions in the chat box.
Yep, I see it's a 40-hour curriculum. That's correct. That's what we require for students to get the full benefit of the STEM learning and the coding lessons that we have. The cost varies. We actually have better prices as the program grows within a school. So if there's 4 educators and up to 100 students using the program, we charge $20,000, which is $200 a student. But if we have up to 10 educators or up to 250 students, it's $30,000, which drops down to $140 a student. And the price continues to drop the more the students use it. And of course, we are willing to work with every school district and every school to make sure that we can find a pricing solution that fits. We work in a lot of low-income districts, so we are used to working with special cases. And will this work on an iPad? At this point, it does not, but we are developing new curriculum options so that students can program apps and do games that are ready to be used on an iPad. Right now, we don't offer that as of this school year. And so I just answered a question about cost, so I think we're all set on that. Are there any other questions? I don't see anything else. I'm going to leave my contact information, of course, How many schools are you currently in? We're in about 50 schools nationwide right now, and we're reaching approximately 3,000 students. We're in all different kinds of communities, urban, rural, low income, charter schools. So we're in a variety of communities in everywhere from West Virginia to Silicon Valley, Austin, Texas, and New York City, where we're actually based. Over the years that we've been around, since 2006, we've reached 7,000 students total. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Great. Well, I thank you guys for your time. And again, I'll leave all of our contact information in the chat box. So if anything else comes up, I'll be monitoring your questions. And feel free to reach out directly so that we can talk. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kara. Again, please continue to post your questions in the chat box, and the innovators will continue to answer them in the chat box. Again, thank you so much for participating today. We do have one more innovator left. Thank you for continuing to listen in and participate. Next, we have Ben from Zondel. Ben, please begin when you are ready. Ben, are you there? All right, not sure what's going on. Please give us just 1 minute. Ben, if you're on, please message me in the chat box. Let me know that you're still on. I do see you in the web portion of the webinar, but we can't hear you. Hi, Ben, are you there? He is calling in from overseas, so I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hi, Ben, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Not sure what was going on. Sorry again for the technical difficulties, everyone. We have Ben from Zondel. Ben, please begin when you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that, guys. Hi, my name is Ben Barton, and I'm CEO of Zondel. And this is Jonathan. Jonathan is an 11-year-old whose life is all about core knowledge and frequent tests. He'd much prefer his classroom to be more like his life outside of school, where he shares his interests with his friends online and plays lots of computer games. Now, I know that using games to support learning is nothing new, and there's some incredible and innovative game-based learning out there. But the problem is most game-based learning doesn't help students like Jonathan succeed in this brave new world of core knowledge and frequent testing. So this is where Zondel comes in. Zondel is a game-based learning platform founded in the UK just over 2 years ago that enables teachers and students around the world to create, play, and share games to support individual learning needs. We have a database of more than 500,000 questions created by teachers and students in any subject, any level, any language. And we have a database of simple games. Students have fun playing and practicing questions they've been set, or questions they've written themselves, in any Zondel game of their choosing. This helps them to consolidate their classroom learning or to prepare for high-stakes tests. Over 250,000 teachers and students are currently using Zondel all around the world and are answering over 6 million questions every month. Now, first off, all the functionality within Zondel is free, because Zondel is about supporting teachers. And using Zondel, teachers can create questions that meet their exact teaching aims, set questions for homework, and not worry about the marking, and teach using our unique whole class teaching game. Teachers can also monitor their students and class progress and answer questions on set questions for online assessment. But Zondel is also about working with teachers. All of our developments have come from teachers, and we're all about adding extra functionalities to the site to increase teacher control of Zondel. We're also obsessive about online safety and have worked with teachers around the world to increase students' awareness of online safety. And we reply to any questions, any comments, personally and very quickly. The Zondel is also about supporting students, helping them to prepare for high-stakes tests by allowing them to play questions set by their teacher in any one of our 50-plus games, but they can also create their own questions, monitor their own progress, share their work with points, badges, and leaderboards. Zondel is also available as a mobile app for iOS and Android, so students can even do their homework on the bus home from school. Zondel is currently developing a range of Common Core packs for English, language arts, and math. We're using expert teachers from around the US, and we're releasing these in August 2013. Zondel Common Core will be really affordable, and we'll be giving it away to the 20 poorest districts in the US. I have 3 takeaways from this session. 1, Zondel provides lots of fun practice, self-testing, and feedback, which the neuroscience shows is essential for learning. 2, Zondel enables teachers to create games to match exactly their teaching aims and their students' learning needs. And 3, Zondel is creative, collaborative, and data generating. And what about that Jonathan kid? Well, have him at the front of the class, engaged with his learning, consolidating what he's been taught by his teacher, and more than ready for that inevitable test. Now, if I have another couple of seconds, I just wanted to read a couple of quotes from teachers. I have to tell you how much we love Zondel. I teach middle school special education, and I just really appreciate how I can differentiate my learning for each of my students. Thanks again for all you do to make learning fun. Just started some of my elementary kids on Zondel, and they're loving it. Let me start off by saying that Zondel has greatly improved student achievement. I'm currently in the process of going paperless, and resources like yours have been wonderful. And finally, I've been so impressed with Zondel that I've proposed to my district a summer professional development day in June so I can spread the word about your site. It has so many applications, and the student engagement is off the charts. Right, I'll take any questions that are there.
All right, please submit your questions via the chat box.
Okay. I think we're, in terms of school numbers, we tend to go on teach, but we're probably in about 1,200 schools in the US at the moment. Quite a few more in the UK. This does work. It does on the apps work on iPads or Android devices. Thanks, Jeff, about the question types. We have 15 different question types, ranging from multiple choice, sequencing pictures, labeling the diagram. So we have a variety of depth of questions. We have questions that are used in over 100 languages, but they're also used from phonics in kindergarten and grade 1, all the way through to students studying for their medical examinations. So, what are they aligned to for level of rigor or depth of knowledge? Well, because so many of the questions have been created by teachers themselves rather than our expert-generated content, which is created by publishers. Most of the content is delivered for the teacher's needs, for what they want to elicit from the children. Okay, any other questions?
All right, time is up. I want to give a special thank you to all the innovators for taking the time out to present. I ask that you all follow up with them if you have any questions. They have provided their contact information in the chat box, so please follow up with them. I will be sending out a recording, a link to the recording of this webinar to all registrants. So if you want to re-listen, if you missed anything, you will be provided with the link to the recording and the survey. So please watch out for that email from myself, LaDerby Porterreal at SIIA. And again, definitely a special thank you to EdWeb, edweb.net, and Elisa Schmucky at EdWeb. Without them, we wouldn't have made this possible. So again, thank you to Lisa for all of her help and efforts with the Educator's Choice Award. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well, LaDerby Porterreal at SIIA, at education at SIIA.net. So again, thank you so much to everyone for participating, and we hope to see and look forward to seeing your responses to the surveys.
Thank you. Please stand by.